Hello lovely people, welcome back to a new video. This week we are doing a draw with me, which I haven't done in a really long time. I just thought it'd be nice to share my process and hopefully it'll be helpful to some of you. I do have a bit of a cold, so my voice isn't the best. I'm really sorry about that, but we're going to carry on. I've made myself a glass of water, although it's a festive vlog, so I think it's time for hot chocolate. So I'm going to make myself a Maltesers hot chocolate. This is definitely one of my favourites, although I've realised I don't have any whipped cream, which is just brilliant. But we move, we carry on. I do have marshmallows though, so I'm going to pour my hot chocolate, add some really cute little marshmallows on the top and just make it look perfect. As you can see here, I had to add a couple more. And then we're going to take it back to the office and we're going to get started drawing. This is the illustration that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I drew this a couple of nights ago on the sofa, so we've got a cute little Santa here, and then this behind is going to be a Christmas tree, but I thought I'd show you some of my sketch process before I do the line art, because I normally do the sketch process off camera and I just kind of get in the zone like on the sofa. I think it's looking so cute so far. I mean, look at that little face. I am obsessed. I don't really know what made me want to draw Santa, but something did, and here we are. So I'm gonna finish up the sketching for the tree and then we're gonna move on to the line art. Let's get sketching. Okay, so something's not quite right about this tree. I'm thinking I need to restart it, but hide Santa before I do it so that I've got kind of a completed tree and then I can put Santa like back on top. I'm going to join these sketchy layers together and hide Santa. And then we're going to start on the tree again because something just wasn't quite right about it. This is why sketching is so important, because it really allows you to work everything out rather than kind of completing your drawing and then trying to add something in and it just doesn't look quite right. I'm going to start with a tree kind of shape, then I'm going to do the details. As you would have seen, I'm literally drawing in layers rather than doing, like when you think of a Christmas tree, sometimes you just want to do this, which is great depending on what you're trying to achieve. So I'm actually going to break it up into layers. So I'm going to add another layer on the top and I'm going to draw the tree in layers. So top piece, and then just underneath is going to be the second piece, and then as many as you want to do really. Okay, so now that I have my layers, I'm going to delete that initial shape and I'm actually going to adjust the shape of the tree because I find it's a bit wide. So I'm going to click the arrow tool up here and click freeform, and that allows me to really adjust the shape of the tree as much as I want. And then I'm going to kind of disappear some of it, I think, off the bottom. Oh, I don't know actually, because again, Santa's going to be hiding some of it. So we're going to go maybe a little bit down. Okay, so now I'm happy with the shape of the tree. I'm going to move it across to the right hand side, add Santa back in. Now I already much prefer this, and this is your time to just adjust your layers, make sure you're happy with everything. I think I might actually make it a little bit taller, like so, and then maybe a tiny bit wider as well. This is why it's important to have everything on separate layers as well. If you're remembering to add layers into your artwork, then it means you can adjust things individually. Okay, so there is my little Santa and a tree illustration. I'm gonna stop talking now and move on to the line work. This is probably going to be the bit that takes me the longest because this is refining all of these little lines and things into individual lines. So rather than it being like messy and all that, as lovely as sketching looks, the line art has to be one of my favourite steps because it just allows you to really see an insight to your finished piece. But sometimes I love sketches as well, and I never want to move on from them because they're just so, I don't know, like fun and messy and imperfect, and I quite like that. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the line art now. And if you're interested, I'm actually using the Fizz and Flourish brush pack. Fizz and Flourish is the lovely Meg here on YouTube as well, and Instagram. Absolutely wonderful human. Meg made a brush pack and I absolutely love this Lacey Line. So that's what I'm going to be using for my line art. Okay, so now we have the line art basically done. I don't know if I'm 100% happy with it, so there's probably a couple of things that I will tweak, but I'm now going to choose my colours. So I didn't do this for a really long time, but it's actually saved you so much time rather than you choosing your colours, colouring it in and then not liking it. It means you can choose your colours, adjust them and then fully colour it in. So I'm going to pick my colours from the colour wheel, which is up to the right hand side. I'm going to pick my colours that I want and I'm going to put them onto a layer underneath my artwork and really roughly colour it in. I'm also going to be using the round brush from the painting section, which is already on Procreate when you download it. It's a block colour brush, so there's no like gaps and things in it, but I really enjoy using this brush for colouring. Okay, so these are the colours that I've chosen. I've gone with a very traditional look, just because I feel like that is Christmas for me, these reds and these greens. I've done his little glasses as gold and then a little button to match. Very rough colour, but gives me an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm then going to select the colouring layer that I did. I'm going to click the arrow, click uniform, and I'm going to shrink it and put it up in the corner so that I have the colours that I've chosen, and then I can just kind of take colours from here. So hold my finger over and then I can choose the colour that I want. It just makes the process much easier. So I'm going to move on to colouring this now, and yeah, it should start looking a little bit more done once I've done the colour, but yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. Still need to colour in the white areas of Santa, so the beard, the hat, any like fluffy parts. So what I normally do for this is I'll create a new layer, and this is where I'm going to use the white just as I separated all the colours onto their own layers as well. I'm then going to select the background layer and change the colour just to something off-white, so I normally go for like a pink or something. And on the layer for the white, I'm then going to colour in. This just allows me to see where I've drawn. My canvas is white. Again, you could choose a different colour for your canvas, but I normally keep mine white and then I decide at the end of the illustration. I'm also going to move this one up as the top colour. It's just in the right place really in reference to the drawing. I'm actually going to separate the facial hair and the fluff onto separate layers as well. So eyebrows are going to be part of the beard, and then I'll add another layer for the hat and jacket. Now that I've done all the whites, I'm going to change the background colour back to white again. So this is where we are. The base colours are done. I'm now going to move on to shading, which just adding a little bit more depth to things. And my way of doing this normally is to select the colour that I want to work with. So for example the hat, I'm going to go to the colour selector in the classic, which is the square one, and I'm going to choose a slightly darker, so go down a bit, and then slightly warmer colour, so off to the right a little bit. And I'm also going to use a different brush for this because I want to add a little bit of texture. So I'm going to use a sketching brush, and this is the 6B pencil, and it just has a nice texture. I don't know how well you can see that. It's just nice rather than having a block kind of shading. And then I'll work with this along the lines anywhere that I want to bring some shadows to, and again the same with the light. Select the main colour and I'll go up and then maybe left a little bit, because that will allow a highlight shade. I also like to add a clipping mask with the colour that I'm working with. So for example, if I start on this red, I'm going to put a layer above the colour. I'm going to tap that layer and click clipping mask, and this means that I'm only going to draw onto the visible layer below. So for example, if I take this lighter colour, it's not going to take it outside of there. So if I was to take the clipping mask off, you can see it's a bit messy. So having that on means that it clips the colour exactly in the section that you want it. Okay, so this is where we're at now. My camera did die, so it had to go on charge for a little bit while I carried on drawing. But I did some details in the tree, and before I kind of finish my details, so Santa's looking really cute. I think I've still got a little bit more shading and highlighting to do, but I think what I'm going to do first is change up the colours of these lines. Now, everything is this brown kind of reddy colour, and that's how I do my line art, but I change that for the completed artwork, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer above the sketch artwork, and that's going to become a clipping mask. So again, tap it and click clipping mask, and then I'm going to choose a colour, which I've already done, a darker version of the green, one that works well and will still stand out like this, but will kind of merge with the design, if that makes sense. I've chosen like quite a deep green, and because the clipping mask is on, it's again only going to colour the sketches. So I'm going to pop the painting brush on, and I'm going to up the size of it just because it allows me to get this done quicker. And I'm going to colour in the reddy lines, which will kind of just make the drawing look more complete. Obviously it depends on your style and it depends what you prefer, but I really enjoy kind of matching my sketch lines with the design and going like as close to the colours as possible without losing it in a sense. I just think it really like finishes it. So I just really roughly know, you know, it doesn't have to be neat because it's a clipping mask. So as I showed you earlier, if I took it off it would look crazy, but because it's on, it only does the image underneath that's showing. So that is kind of what my tree is looking like. I think that looks really good. I need to do some more detail and I think I might do some ornaments on it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm really liking how this tree looks. So I'm just going to check that it's all, you know, I haven't missed any red bits because that happens sometimes, especially when you're scribbling so quickly over the top. So that's kind of how the tree is looking for now, and now I'm going to apply the same idea to Santa. So I'm going to make a layer above Santa and again clipping mask. So what I'm going to do is choose the red and again choose a deeper and richer colour. And again, I think the red is going to be fairly similar to the colour that I've got now. Probably you won't be able to pick it up on camera, but the colour that I've chosen is a little, well, it's very similar to the colour that I sketched with. So I'm actually going to go slightly more on the red side and down. There we go, I think that's better. Again, you might not be able to see it on camera, but it just blends everything together better. And then again, the same with, for example, his glasses. I'm going to select that goldy colour and I'm going to choose a darker version of the gold, and that is what is going to be, this is going to be coloured as. That's a bit messy, but you get the idea. So I'm going to do that now and hopefully everything will start looking a little bit more complete. I'm now going to add a few finishing touches. So here is all the line work done. So again, let me take the clipping layer off. So this is what he looked like before, still super cute. And then this is with all the layers changed, or the sketch layer changed to make it look just a little bit more blended, a little bit more realistic in a sense. So yeah, that's looking really good. And I'm going to do some finishing touches with the light pen in the luminance section. And I'm going to use like a soft yellow colour so I can have like a warmer light. And I'm just going to add some little lights onto the Christmas tree. I feel like it just needs something, not too much, but something to kind of finish it off. So I'm just going to go along and add little lights in places around the Christmas tree, and then we're done. And here is my finished illustration. I'm so happy with it. I think honestly this is like the cutest thing I've ever drawn. I am so happy with it, and I think the Christmas tree is really lovely as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If I've missed anything, or yeah, just something extra that I might be able to help with, please let me know. And if you'd like to see more of these, again, please let me know in the comments as well. But I really hope you enjoyed drawing with me, and I'll chat to you guys in the next video.